Joey B and the captain, Mike McSee, and tonight it is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It is Thursday, so we're going to be talking about what happened over the weekend. But we got a couple of things that general information things. First of all, let's start. We owe our viewers a big thank you.
Yes, we do.
Well, officially, right? Not unofficially. Officially. To date, 13,000 hits.
Yeah.
On our ACFL network, and that's our international audience. And here's something that Mike just told me 30 seconds ago. I'm going to let him tell you. If you had to think of what was the most single-viewed game, you would think it would be Canes and somebody else. It would be a big,
Bruins All
a championship game of some kind. Mike, tell him what the most viewed game is.
From, I think it was week 1, Bulldogs Bankers. Bulldogs Bankers.
And what was the number on that?
407 hits on that.
407 hits on the first game of the season. So these guys either missed us during the off season, or there was really nothing to do.
Or they love the Bulldogs and the Bankers.
Well, that was the first week, so they had 30 guys down there on each sideline, right? A lot of people there. Also, further announcements to make. The championship dinner is going to be held.
All right.
We're actually going to have it. It's going to be held at the Meadows Golf Course in their dining room. It's going to be very similar to the MSG show that I can't think of the guy's name that hosts it.
It's like a dinner with.
A dinner with, exactly. We're going to chat a little bit about the league. JT will be there. So any questions or any criticisms, that's going to be an open forum.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if we can kind of do a Facebook Live thing from that, or a Periscope, or a YouTube
something.
Live.
That's your department.
We can even have some feedback from guys watching it. We'll try and do that live. We'll see if we can figure that out and get that all hooked up so it's a good view and everyone can see it. You guys can write in your own comments and questions and what you're thinking, what we're talking about. So we'll see if we can get that done.
Yeah, that's going to be a good thing. The coach, usually the coach should be there, along with one of his players, any player that he chooses. So each representative championship team will have 2 guys there.
Right, so start buttering up to your coaches so you can get a free
especially
meal.
if you've already won the championship.
Yeah.
And now here's something that is unprecedented. And this, I want to address the guys. Now, we have a big 13,000. We got a big following.
Yeah,
all
we
right?
do.
But we do have, I don't want to call them detractors, but guys that like to be shit stirrers.
Yeah.
And that's really the only way to say it. What does this league do for us? Da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Well, this is the only rec league I know about that has a weekly show. This is the only rec league that airs games weekly. It's the only rec league that has sponsors.
Yeah, man.
To advertise on the show. And now we're doing something new. We're adding to that. For the first time ever, there is going to be an overall MVP on offense and defense. Now, overall means it's not going to be by, what do you want to call it, division or league or whatever. It's going to be all the divisions, the leagues put together on offense, and all of them on defense. And we're going to pick one offensive player and one defensive player. Now, Mike McSee, the captain, is going to be putting up 10 names from offense and defense.
Wow.
You guys will vote on to who you think is the defensive MVP and the offensive MVP. There will be no write-ins.
No write-ins.
You have to vote for the people that we've selected, and we've solicited. We've solicited opinions from some coaches and from other players and from JT and Mike and myself, who probably watch. How much film do we watch during the course of the season? So we've narrowed it down to 10 guys on each side of the ball. You may agree with some, disagree with others, but these are the guys you're going to vote for. And this award will also be given out at the championship dinner. And that championship dinner is going to be within 2 weeks of this Sunday, because we do wrap up this Sunday.
We sure do.
We wrap up for the spring, and the tournament is what? 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away in August.
Yeah, it was a long season, man. It just got stretched out. It's like the season just never wanted to end.
Rain. We got rained out.
Rain and Easter and Mother's Day. Well, no, we didn't. We played on.
No, we didn't. We didn't play on Mother's Day. We didn't play on Father's Day.
No, we played.
We played on Father's Day.
But yeah, it's like it just.
Oh, we played on Mother's Day too. That
Easter
pissed a lot of
fell
people
late
off.
this year.
Crazy.
So
It was a very, very long season, but it will be within 2 weeks. You will get an engraved invitation from us to attend. Again, if you cannot attend, if the coach can't attend, send 2 of your players there. Send any 2 players you want there. It's not restricted to a quarterback and a coach. There might be some guys that would like a free meal now and then.
There you go.
I know I do. That's why we have so many food sponsors.
There you go.
We don't pay for anything.
There we go.
We can't tell you that, but we don't pay for anything. So at any rate, those are the special announcements we have to make. Start voting. I expect the show will be up sometime tomorrow, Mike.
Yeah, something like that. Friday it'll be up, I'm sure.
Okay, and we can. So you have a week of voting, basically.
There you go. And then we'll put up the.
We'll put up the
poll
results.
and,
Yep.
And there you go.
And
We're
you'll
off.
be able to track the results as we go.
Yeah.
during
Well,
the
I'll
quarter.
probably make it as a poll on the thing, and everyone can vote individually, and there you go.
And then we'll announce the winners, either on the board, because our last show is going to be at the championship dinner.
Right.
So
right.
the winners will be announced. We'll let the league do that. We'll let JT announce the 2 winners.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun that night, guys. I mean, nice dinner, a lot of chat. We'll shut the camera off when we're eating dinner so nobody
Yeah.
can see what slobs we are, and go from there. So let's take a commercial break right now for one of those paying sponsors, and we'll come back with a review of what happened over the weekend. Right back. All right, Joey B here to talk to you guys about a little golf. Now, listen, the Meadows Golf Course in Lincoln Park, New Jersey, right off exit 52 of Route 80. 18 magnificent holes of golf, very reasonable guys, under $30 during the week with a cart. And included in that is you get to look at all the pretty cart girls that are out there serving drinks and food to you while you're on the golf. You don't care what your score is because you're having so much fun. Remember, that's the Meadows Golf Course. Go in and mention that you saw this ad to Dennis, the manager, and Dennis will do something special for you, but he treats everybody special anyway. Remember, that's the Meadows Golf Club, Lincoln Park, New Jersey. 18 holes of great golf, great day. Hit 'em straight. So, Mike, a weekend, and we did the show Sunday morning, so
Yeah.
we didn't know anything. And
Right.
but one of our predictions, sadly, came true.
Yeah, it did. It did.
The playing game never happened.
Never happened. Never happened.
And it was, I was talking about the Shakers being there with a full squad and worried about the Diablos. It was just the opposite.
Opposite way around. Diablo
And
showed up.
Diablo
Dan
showed
was
up.
out there playing. He was
Well,
coach
Dan,
got
you
out
know what? Dan had to play.
He had to, yeah.
It wasn't a matter of choice. And again, the Shakers did not show. I think
Yeah.
2 guys from the Shakers showed up. Rizzo was there. And Rizzo,
Yep.
you know, I hope somebody picks Rizzo up.
Right.
This guy's a good player,
Yeah.
and he wants to play.
Can't ask for anything more.
You know, but unfortunately, it was a no-show. So let's start with that Diablos-Canes game. Really, I know you call it a walk in the park for the
Yeah, it
for
really
the
wasn't.
Canes.
I mean, for the Canes on their side, I think it was a great thing because now Earl had the quarterback. It gives them, it was almost like a scrimmage, almost like a practice game for them to get tuned up, see what they got, work out whatever kinks they needed. Because I'm sorry, what was it, 36-6,
Something like
something
that.
like that. Like that was not a good game by the Diablos. That was not a good showing.
Well, you know what it was too. Now, Earl did not injure himself further,
Right, which is good.
which is good for them.
Yeah.
I was talking to Wally before the game for a few minutes.
Okay.
He's definitely looking to start rehabbing sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And he's looking at a return at maybe, next spring or next fall.
Yeah, that's what he
You know,
wants to do.
depends
One
on-
last run.
You know, it depends on his rehab.
True.
And you know, you don't want to pop that. That's like lightning striking you twice in your lifetime. You know, it's not a fun thing. But he was moving okay. The boot was very fashionable.
He seemed all right.
Looked all right.
He
So,
was out there rooting, cheering the boys on.
well, the Canes really, let's just say they were really not tested in that
They
game.
really were. I mean, Earl looked good too. Earl looked good as the quarterback.
Was he
back
moving?
then. He was moving around. Had some real nice passes. It also helped that their defense picked off 2 and returned them to the house. So right there, that's 14 points right off the bat, right from him. But Earl looked good, man, moving around, and he was playing both ways. So that hamstring must be doing okay for him. He had it wrapped up, loosened it up before the game. He had it wrapped nice and tight, and they didn't look too bad. Earl was really putting it on there. Probably might have to worry about his job.
Well, anyway, now the next game, in that sequence was the All-Stars and the HOB. Now, if I remember correctly, you picked the All-Stars in that game.
No,
you picked.
No, I picked HOB.
That's right. So we agreed on that game.
One of my only wins. Other than that, it was just the two 9-on-9 games I got right last week.
Now the score was 28-21, but again, that was a game you got to watch.
Right.
And the way you made it sound like it was a good game, but HOB seemed to be in control.
Yeah,
from the
it was
start.
a good game. It just I didn't find it super exciting. I felt they each went down. They scored. It was the last person. Last score won, and that's how it went down. It wasn't a super exciting game as far as like you would think, 28-21.
Did the All-Stars have the ball in a tying possession? Or
what, I can't remember.
we got the film. Take a look at the film. You
at the
tell
film.
us.
What horrible how it ended really to put the HOB up, tip ball right through Timmy's hands, interception, return for the touchdown. I mean, it was close. It wasn't a super. I didn't feel super excited by it. I think it was two teams that were just evenly matched. And yeah, just to have that final tip through the hand, pick off, return for a touchdown.
So would you
that
say
was pretty much it? That was the end of the game.
Would you say Titano and Pete kind of like played it off as a push?
Yeah. It was again.
And that's what we said was going to happen.
Yeah.
We said that was going to be a push.
Yeah, it came down to one mistake, and unfortunately, it just slipped right through. It went right through his hands, a little high. Pass was a little high, a little tip. HOB picked it off and ran it in. I mean, what else can you?
So we have a finals this Sunday at 10 o'clock of HOB and the Canes. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, here we go. This could be the start. You had the Canes. This is where they started their run, was against HOB. This is where they started their championship run. So it's kind of fitting that this may be, it's one of the Canes' last seasons. These guys are getting old. Some of us, we're saying these guys are old. I think the youngest guy on the team is 27. And
old.
What I'm saying, that's the youngest guy on the team, and everyone else is in mid 30s, going in their 40s. So
all right, well let's start with quarterback play, because that's where we always start. Now we've got Pete against Earl.
I gotta take Pete in that.
I gotta agree with you on that.
Because I've seen more of Pete as a quarterback. I've seen one game with Earl as quarterback.
The capability of Pete running the ball is a huge factor.
It's
Earl can move the ball on his leg, but Earl is hurt. I can't see him trying to sprint downfield, breaking the pocket and going downfield.
But the way the Canes play, he doesn't need to run. They always have little outlet dump-offs, one little guy crossing across the middle, and then they send their guys deep. So it's very well organized the way that they have this offense set up. So Earl doesn't have to scramble, run, do all that. He just, nobody's there, let me dump it off to Pugh, let me dump it off over here, let me dump it off.
No, they got Rashid out there too.
Yeah.
And so, but I think Pugh has to have a big game. In this, well, I in lieu of Earl running the ball, you got to hand the ball to Pugh, dump it off to Pugh, let him make some plays. Pete can run the ball. HOB's got very capable wide receivers. They have speed on both sides of the ball.
Great defense.
And I think that if the Canes win this game, they're going to be tested in this game.
This is going to be.
They're going to be tested in this game, and that's why I'm going to you with the first pick in this game.
I'll tell you, I'm starting to feel on the kiss of death. I don't know who I should choose in this. I got to go with the Canes just because they haven't lost in a year and a half now. They won 2 chips in the last 2 seasons. They just figure out the way to win. I don't think I would be surprised if HOB wins this, because I think these 2 teams, they were gunning for it from the beginning of this season. This is what they wanted. They wanted these 2 teams in the finals. I think most of us did. They want these 2 teams in the finals because, like I said, they have a huge history. How many HOB
teams forget it. Off the charts.
Have there been
off the
in
charts.
the last 15
off
years?
the charts.
So I'm gonna go Canes just because.
I did a couple of HOB games. In the first game I did this year, Farrow, after every play made on defense, we're on a new level. He sounded like the guy that spoke at the convention the other night. He sounded like that minister. But I got to believe that HOB has been. I know Kane's defending champions,
Right.
and they, okay, we expect to go back there again.
Right.
But HOB has had this game as a target
Yeah.
from week 1, and they were going to get to this game. They were going to get to this game,
No matter what.
no matter what,
Yeah.
and now they're here. So, it's a championship game. You don't have to talk about motivation.
No. There's no motivation. Both these teams are ready, but
But I got a feeling that if HOB doesn't get this one, if they don't get this one, it's gonna break their hearts big time.
It will.
You're right. And the Canes, if they get this one, well, it's just one more.
and they're
And so I'm gonna go HOB because not that I don't think the Canes want to win this game. I think HOB wants to win it a little bit more.
I think we may even see another thriller like we did 2 seasons ago. Canes Diablos, four overtime type
Yeah,
game. I think
yeah.
this is going to be.
Oh, it's that kind of game.
Yeah, this is that kind of game. It's going to be physical. If you like physical football, I think this is going to be super physical.
This is it.
And this is going to come down to a kick, which both teams have kickers, have good kickers.
Right.
And I think that's really what it's going to come down to.
And two of the biggest lines too.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be like that Ram commercial for the pickup truck.
Yes, they are. This is going to be.
It's going to be a hitter.
This is going to be serious physical football right here.
It really
I'm so
is.
looking forward to this
It
game.
really
This
is.
going to be probably. Can't say the best game of the day, but it's going to be one
Right
of the top 2.
One of the top 2. Very
But,
good.
HOB. You're right. They really want this game. What better way than to knock off the Canes, knock off the defending champions, and it being the Canes at the same time? Because we all know the history of these 2 teams.
And we'll be right back to talk about the B. I did it again. No. The 8-on-8 championship game, which was held last Sunday, right after this commercial break.
As restaurants come and go, it is rare to find an establishment like Steve's Sizzling Steaks. Steve's has focused on excellent food, comfortable ambiance, and a friendly staff. Times sure have changed since Steve's first opened their doors, but what hasn't changed is the family atmosphere that makes Steve's so special. Open 7 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Located at 620 Route 17 South in Carlstadt, New Jersey, or call 201-438-9677 for your reservation. Crowned another champion last week.
Yes, we did.
We had the Bucks 2 weeks ago. This week we had the 8-on-8.
Yes, we did.
Kodiaks. I feel were the 2 teams that should be in that playoff, in that championship game. They were the 2 best teams in the 8-on-8.
Record-wise, they should have been there.
Record-wise, statistically, just even the eyeball test, just watching them, I felt that these 2 teams were the 2 teams that should be there. 1 and 2 going into it. It was and away we went.
I had a great seat for that game too.
You did have a great seat. You were right down there.
I had field level.
Yeah, it was good.
It was field level. But that game, I'll tell you what about that game. It really was. It was a battle of the defenses. I think one of the reasons that the Goons were able to win this game was they limited Matty Ice to practically no big plays at all.
Yes,
I think he had one real big run, and everything else was kind of short.
It seemed like they really bottled him up. They watched the film that we provide each week for you guys, and they really knew where he was going to go. I mean, obviously the Goons have played though against Matty Ice too. It's not like he's a new quarterback. They had to figure out his scheme, but they really bottled him up, and it seemed like they were moving him where they wanted him to go. If they wanted him on the sideline, we're going to box you in, and now you have to look. That's what it seemed like they were doing. It didn't feel like a all-out rush, let's just get him. It seemed like they came up together and just boxed him in and made him throw the ball.
And
so
I
he
think
couldn't run.
No, and I think he had a problem with this check down receivers because if you look at the film, he went deep early in this game, and it looked like he had a couple of guys that would have had to have made spectacular catches.
Right.
But his check down receivers, there were a lot of check down receivers open that he never saw.
Yeah.
And, look, these guys on the Goons, you get them the ball 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, they'll turn it into a 30-yard play.
Easily.
And he missed a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Jerry did not run the ball a whole lot in this game.
Yeah,
he had some, his underneath passing was very, very good.
Yeah.
And their defense was, again, as we said, it was some good defense played very well, too.
Whose defense played great?
You know,
Was
look,
18-12,
and you
know?
scored
I
the
mean,
last touchdown with 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
And that was a tough drive because what had happened was the Goons had just tied the score at 12
Right.
at the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
At the 2-minute warning. Goons kick off, kick it out of bounds.
Mm.
So now you're giving the Kodiaks a half a field with a full 2 minutes left. And there was a couple of penalties involved in there. The bottom line is the Goons scored the winning touchdown with 5 seconds left. So I think, and they were out of timeouts.
Right.
The Kodiaks were out of
Okay.
timeouts. So
They
if they
needed it.
stop that play, if, let's say it's caught but they don't go in for
Right.
the touchdown,
It's over.
they go to overtime.
Yeah.
There's no time to run another play.
Yeah.
Pass incomplete, maybe they have 1 second left. What are you going to do in 1 second? You're going to rush the play. But they scored with 5 seconds left, and I credit the the Kodiak defense winning that game.
Yeah.
Kodiak defense won that game.
I think this was both defenses were on display in this game. With an 18-12 game, like you said, you don't get that winning touchdown until 5 seconds left in the game. I think it was 6-0 at half. You know, it wasn't.
I believe it was 12-6 or something like that. Yeah.
Very close. Not a lot of scoring in this game. This was a defensive battle.
And they hit hard. And they hit hard.
Yeah,
They
and
hit
you know,
hard.
we had 2 good quarterbacks. Matty Ice had a phenomenal year this year, I think, playing for the Goons. And Jerry's Jerry, you know, always has a good year. Always has a good year in spring when he comes out and plays. You should see you guys in the fall sometime.
Can't do it. They're too busy doing their plans for teaching. You know, these guys are all teachers.
Yeah, it's a
And
Sunday.
Jerry was leaving for Ocean City, Maryland, after the game to join his family down there for a week's vacation.
Yeah.
So you know, and it was hot Sunday. The guys that played on the AstroTurf really must have felt it.
Yeah, and it was brutal.
We played on a grass field, and Dan from the Bucks gets that Feigl field.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice little field.
Yeah. Not too
Nice
bad
little
right there in
field.
Pagoda.
And
Not too bad.
good job, Dan,
Thank you, Dan.
for helping out the league.
Yeah.
So the Goons are crowned as champion. Jerry wins the MVP, by the way.
Kodiaks are down.
Kodiaks, pardon me.
Kodiaks.
Kodiaks are crowned, and Jerry wins the MVP in that game.
Yeah.
Although there wasn't a lot of scoring, he generaled his team very well.
Yeah, usually the quarterbacks will usually get that in that tight game, you know, unless it's a big pickoff or some big defensive play at the end of the game. But hey, it's nice. Kodiak's got to avenge that loss from what 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago when the Spartans back then, or were they the Goons?
Economy Oil, Goon, whatever they were called.
Yeah, they they got to get a little revenge on that, and now they are our new 8-on-8
Champions, yeah.
reigning
They're
champions
the
right now.
champs.
So congratulations to the
And no
Kodiaks.
one's going to take them out till the springtime.
Yeah, you guys got to come out for the fall.
All right. Hey, let's wrap it up with the 6-on-6 conference finals.
Yes.
And
Two great games.
two games that had 4 great teams in them.
Yes. Again, I said it on Sunday. I think these are the 4 right teams that should have been playing for the chip, and we got
Well,
2 good games.
well, let me ask you something. It looked to me on film that the teams that won the game
Right.
never were in any peril. I mean, they seemed to be in control from the start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, like the Bruins, they took care of business. I think I picked the Bruins in that game.
You
too.
did pick the Bruins. It was. I felt that game was pretty close up until the very end when it was picked by the Bruins late in the game.
Their defense again.
Yes, their defense stepped up, and it seemed once that one touchdown, I think it was a pick 6, because that was a back and forth game. It was only a 5-point game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Blazers fought their way back into it. They were.
So the Blazers were chasing.
Yeah, the lead kept switching, and just that
Turned the
interception,
game
that pick
around.
6, that just, I think, took the air out of them. You know, now you're down 12, and they tried to fight their way back. They fought their way back. Again, they went down 12, ended up losing by 5. Blazers had a good year this year. The Blazers had a really good year, and they played a great game. You know, I'm sure the Bruins would agree with you. You know, I think they.
Well, the Bruins did what they've been doing all year.
Yeah.
It seems like they play good enough to win.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't try
You're
to do anything more than what they have to do to win. I mean,
right.
the game against the New Breed, the New Breed handed them, I think, 24 points.
Yeah.
You know, in that game. But
Yeah.
this is what the Bruins do. They play to the level they need to play to win the game,
Yeah.
and that's what they do.
Yeah, they had good defense on them. Like you said, we got a couple of their guys on our defensive MVP for the league for the year this year. So they played a great game. And, know, and again, I heard them on the sideline making adjustments at halftime. Hey, when this happens, do this. When this happens, I call this. If he goes out, you know, somebody comes across the field. So they really made a lot of adjustments during the game.
And now let's move to the other game, which the Cobras were playing the Bears, and I think I picked the Cobras in that game.
You did pick the
Okay, I
Cobras
just
in that game.
mentioned that in passing.
That's
You know.
all right. That's all right.
But the reason that I like the Cobras, that I thought the Bears were susceptible to big play offense, and
you were right.
and that's what happened.
You were right, and you know, and you even hear them on the Bears on the sideline. They were like, "It's only a few big plays. That's all they're beating us by. It's just what, you know what? Those big plays really."
And that's what the Cobras did all year.
That's what they did.
It was
all
always
year, man.
this team. I'll tell you what.
And they were down, guys. They didn't have full team. This team had to go Iron Man. I think they had one sub. So, you know, when they started the game, they had 6 guys. So they were Iron Man for that game.
If you look at time of possession for the season,
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet the Cobras had the lowest time of possession
Yeah.
in the 6-on-6.
Yeah, even before the game, I was talking with Kornacki. He came down, Bruins came down to watch that game too. They wanted to see who they were going to play next week. Well, that they, you know, were hoping that they were going to play next week. And he was saying, you know, we were discussing who we were picking, and he didn't like that I picked the Blazers in his game, but
that's
and he was like, "I'm going to prove."
And
you
by the way,
wrong." And he
Kornacki
did.
got married this weekend or
I
next
think
week.
it was something like that.
He's
So
getting married sooner or later,
congratulations.
Kornacki, but put the wedding off till after the game.
But even he was saying he's going to take the Bears that day because of the personnel that showed up for the Cobras. He didn't think them having to go in the heat against the Bears, Iron Man. Hey, Cobras are no joke, man.
Well,
Recently, you know,
they're
we
in it
talked
now.
about
They're
them,
in. They're in. You know what? I swear to God, we talked about them the last 2 weeks of the season. Now
Yeah.
we look like friggin' geniuses
Yeah,
because they're in the
hey,
championship
yeah,
game.
exactly.
We knew these guys were good. We were saving it to the
Yeah.
end. We didn't want to give it to you early in the
Yeah,
season.
Cobras, they looked really good doing it. too.
Well, now we have the Bruins and the Cobras in a championship game. So we have undoubtedly one of the top 2 defenses
Yes.
in 6-on-6 flag, going against undoubtedly one of the top 2 offenses
Yes.
in 6-on-6 flag. So here's where the rubber meets the road.
This is it's a tough one. You know, like you said, Cobras big play, and they'll jam it down your throat. They don't care. They'll keep tossing it. But the Bruins can make those stops. So I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say
You are the king of the hedging, man.
I am. I'm going to go with the Cobras. Just because I've been picking against them, you haven't heard much about them, and it seems whenever I pick against them, they're winning. That was my philosophy for the Goons last week. So, sorry, Cobras, if you lose, I may be the kiss of death on you. But I'm thinking the Cobras, that is big play. That is serious big play.
Now, if you remember what I said last week in the Bruin Blazer game,
Right.
I said that the Bruins take their time going upfield,
They do.
and Blazers might feel like they have to come on the field and
Right.
quick hit just to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they don't score, they got to punt.
They got, yep,
You know,
now
then
it's
they come
another
down
8
and
minutes
8
gone.
minutes
Yeah.
gone. So that's why I took the Bruins. I didn't think the Blazers
Right.
would be able to big play the Bruins because of their defense. Now, what's changed for me this week? Nothing. The Bruins still have
Okay.
a good defense that
Yeah.
can get deep. The Bruin defense can get deep.
They can, yes.
Okay.
They're good over the middle. Daba right there in the middle. They have a good line. Good corners, too, you know. But I hear what you're saying.
And they blitz, you know, again, I can't believe we're talking about a defensive scheme for 6-on-6. But they blitz off the edges. They'll blitz delay up the middle.
They will.
They'll do a lot of different things. Again, Cobras, big play offense. And the Bruins were able to defeat one big play offense. I think they defeat
All right.
another big play offense and win the chip.
I see. Yeah, I hear you. Cobras, though, compared with the Blazers, Cobras, that is their offense's big play. How you were saying you felt that the Blazers are going to they got to get on the field. Now we got to score. This is what the Cobras do. So, come on, Dan and the Cobra, or Adam, sorry, buddy, and the Cobras, come on. Please don't make this guy.
Well, I'm not going to openly root. That's you know,
No.
I can't openly root, but I think that
I just want to be right.
you
That's-
want to be
that's
right.
all.
I mean, what you know, you had 2 wins out of what, 6 games, 5 games, whatever it was.
Picking this year.
I swept.
You did.
I swept. I had a winning week completely. But I think the formula that the Bruins use against the Blazers they'll use against the Cobras, and if it works, they win.
Yeah. You could be. Again, this is
I mean,
championship game. I don't see,
we've watched these
I'm not
teams.
too surprised either way. I'm not too surprised either way if whoever wins this game.
We've watched these teams all year.
Yeah.
You know, so we
One
know.
good thing though about the Bruins, with your pick, I would say, is that we've seen them come from behind. So.
Well,
Cobras get
but
out
now
in
you see,
front.
now you make one
Right.
before we sign off. I want to make one last point.
Okay.
They've come from behind.
They have.
But if they get down 14 points or more against the Cobras, then that working up the field offense
Yeah.
has got to change.
Maybe I'm changing my mind.
You know.
Thinking about
But no, if now
But they can hit quick.
can they? Okay, I tell you what, I think the Bruins are a better team driving the ball
Furman
upfield.
on the outside, you know, they still got some speed.
No, they got some
Are you
speed.
changing my mind?
No, I'm still going with the
All right,
Bruins.
sticking Cobras.
All right. So again, the names and just
Here we go.
let's tease them a little bit.
We'll tease you a little
We'll give you 3 names on the offensive side of the ball, and we'll give you 3 names on the defensive side of the ball. But don't forget, there are more. There are 10 on each side.
We'll post that up once I get the game.
You can give the 3 defensive guys. I'll give the 3 offensive.
All right. 3 defensive guys. I have Albie coming from the All Stars. I think he had a great defensive game. Every time I see him play, I think he's a fantastic defensive player off the line. Eric from HOB, I think is another defensive, maybe MVP. And I like putting him on here just because of. I'm going to go with the number one. Just because of his name. I love Joe Macho. I love that name.
Joe
And
Macho,
he
the
also-
lineman from
yeah,
Laconia.
And he also does, he's good on defense, man. He is good. He's roaming over the middle and he takes care of business.
He does.
So that's 3. There's 7 more, you know, and it's all over the league. I know I mentioned All Stars and HOB and 8-on-8 with the Kodiaks, but there
All
are
right,
some
I'm
down
gonna
here.
give you 3 offensive players.
All right.
All right, here we go. Now, just because I'm giving you this name first doesn't mean that I think he's gonna be, you know, okay. Dan, the quarterback from
the Bucks,
the
yes.
Bucks, who won a chip.
Won a chip? Yes, he
They
did.
went 10-1.
Yeah, something like that. Only lost 1 this year.
And Pete.
Pete. Yeah, Pete's always
from
in the
HOB.
conversation.
Pete's always in the conversation.
Whatever team, whatever division, whatever kind of style he's playing in, he's always in the conversation. For
Then the last one, Timmy O'Connell
Yes.
from the All-Stars.
Yeah, he's a big part of their offense
you know,
out there.
and-
Whether it's kicking their extra points and field goals, or just being that big target for Titano, hitting in the end zone, hitting over the middle. something
He's
like that.
also the second biggest Giant fan I know. Not next to you. To me. I'm the G-Man. So that's just a little tease. Guys, all 10 names will be under the show this week.
Yes.
Mike will put up a
Little
little
poll.
poll, and you guys vote for the offensive and defensive MVP. So, from Joey B, Mike McC, we'll be live at the field Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a little sideline stuff on the field Sunday.
Earl, you got to talk to us. I'm coming after you.
Well, you know, again, if the teams don't want to talk,
All
they're
right.
the Ted Cruzes of the.
Yeah.
Start calling some guys in this league Ted Cruz. Whenever they open their mouth, I sound like an idiot anyway. But anyway, good luck to the teams on Sunday. And again, thank you for the 13,000
Yeah,
hits.
thank you very much.
That's, you know, when you think about what we do here, to have 13,000, and that's counting our international
Yeah,
audience.
you know,
So
I mean,
people
that's-
forget, we have an international following. England loves this guy.
Yeah, Indonesia, baby.
Yeah, you know, it's the
What's up,
place to
Indonesia?
be. I see you had curry for lunch today. Anyhow, again, thank you very much for your support this season, for the views, for the hits. Thanks to our camera crew, who are
Tom and Mike, we got a new guy.
great
Mike,
job.
which is nice. He lives right there in Magotas, so that was nice.
You know, and they're always there. They capture plays, and I think these game films help teams get better.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And
Tommy out in the rain. How many monsoon games did he have?
oh god, yeah, and our sponsors. This could not be without them.
That is correct.
This
That is
could
correct.
not be without them. And again, let me remind
For
you.
our new sponsors that came on this year.
And ask Johnny from the Bulldogs, who's got the tire commercial.
Yes, he does.
He's telling us he's gotten increased business from that. You guys, if you have a business and you play in the league, you get a super discount rate
Yeah.
for commercials.
We'll
So
shoot it for you.
freaking take advantage of it, man. All right. So again, have a good night. Stay safe. Good luck to the teams on Sunday.